free agency is around the corner. It matters. There's a lot at stake for the Niners this offseason. You could argue it's the most important offseason they've had for this regime.
Yeah.
Give me 2 free agents you think they should sign.
Well, I think the 49ers are now in a position where they can't break the bank. They can't be going off after big time free agents. I think that they're going to struggle to sign some of their own guys. It's now a time where you have to win in the draft. You have to get your superstar players going forward through the draft, and you have to build depth through free agency. And so I've got 2 guys that I think will do that for sure. One of them comes from the Kansas City Chiefs. He's a free agent this offseason, 2-time Super Bowl champion, maybe 3 after this year. We'll see. You probably could get him for around $3.5 million a year. Rotational defensive tackle, but a big body. One thing we know is that the 49ers don't have guys that eat up a lot of space and are great run defenders. They need somebody like that. And Mike Pennell is the perfect person. He's 6'4", 330, space eater. Anybody that wants to know about Pennell, just go watch the Super Bowl. He was a problem for the 49ers in their run game in the Super Bowl. He's a big boy. So that's somebody that I would love for them to bring in. He'll be 34 this year. Like I said, 1-year deal, $3.5 million. I think that I would love to have somebody like that. And then I'm going to look at somebody else at the corner position that is similar as far as they're not going to be expensive, has played at a really high level in this league. And then he's been a little bit down this year, but the whole defense was down this year until very, very recently. I believe he's 27 years old. He's played in all systems. He can play zone, he can play man. And I think with 2 other really good corners on this team, he definitely could be a guy that can come in nickel situations and be your outside corner. And that's Brandon Stevens of the Baltimore Ravens. He, like I said, he has had a little bit of a down year this year, but if you watch that whole defense, it's been down up until they made a switch to Kyle Hamilton to go to safety, and then the whole defense just picked it up. And quite frankly, they've got an all-pro safety over there. They've got an all-pro nickel corner and a young, elite, what it looks like, elite outside corner. So he's the weak link. He gets picked on a lot over there, and he still makes plays. So that's somebody that I'm looking at. Again, not very expensive. And if you drafted somebody better, then so be it. But he's going to give you depth as well. So Mike Pennell and Brandon Stevens are the guys that I'm looking at.
I like those picks. I think I'm looking at defensive line as well. A defensive tackle seems like it would be ideal. And I think Pennell's a good one. DJ Jones is an obvious one. I mean, you drafted him. He knows not only your system, but your culture. Players know him. He fits in. Assuming you keep the wide 9, he would really help the run defense. Run defense has been an issue. I think he's a no-brainer if you can afford him. If he would be willing to come here for whatever the Niners would offer, a 1-year deal or whatever. And then on offense, I mean, I just think it'd be kind of – he fits the culture. They have so many guys they brought in last year who were from this team or that team, and it seems
like talking about DJ Jones?
DJ Jones, yes.
Still? Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be nice to bring back someone from the original Super Bowl team.
I think he's going to be too expensive. You're probably right. Like $10 million, and I think next year he'll probably 29 years old. He'll be, I think 29. He's probably going to want a multiple year deal, probably around the 12 to $13 million range, and I think he'll get it from someone. Man, I just don't know that they can afford. But great player.
Fair enough. Well, let me look at someone else on offense. They could use a new center. They could use a new right tackle for sure. But they do have guys under contract at that position. They're losing their left guard this offseason. I don't think they're going to re-sign Aaron Banks. They'll probably – I mean, they have Spencer Burford. I mean, they have guys that could fill in. But it'd be nice if they could go get a starting left guard who could play right away. Not necessarily be like someone they give a 4-year contract to, but how about Zach Martin? He's like 34 years old. He used to be an all-pro. I mean, he's been an all-pro a bajillion times. How about 1 year of Zach Martin? Kind of like when 15 years ago when the Niners had Larry Allen for a year or two. Like, how about right at the twilight of his career, someone kind of like Alex Mack? He could be good. I don't know if he'd be that expensive. You might get him on a 1-year deal. I don't know if he'd be interested in coming out here, but he might be.
Well, I'll throw another name out there. If he's not willing to do it, along the same exact line, Kevin Zeitler. He was on the
Boom,
Ravens 2 years ago. He's on the Lions this year. Very, very more than
boom.
serviceable, very good player. So yeah,
Yeah.
Martin or Zeitler, I think could
It'd
fit
be
that
nice if
mold
they
up
could get a
here.
starting left guard who's better than Aaron Banks and free. Like we're taking this very seriously for a lot of reasons. We want to make this offense because the offensive line, you could say it's serviceable when healthy. It was like 13th on PFF. I mean, it's not bad. PFF
Yeah.
offensive lines are kind of bad across the league, but if it would be good, that would really help, especially when you have a quarterback who's not necessarily great.
Yeah, I think I don't know. To me, it's pretty clear the way you build your team is quarterback, protect the quarterback, get after the quarterback. And you've got to really pour as many assets into those three things as possible if you want to compete in this league. They believe they found their quarterback. Great. So you got that figured out. But you've really got to protect him now and you've got to get after the quarterback. And right now, they're weak in both of those areas. So what do you do to fix that this offseason? You got a lot of work to do in one offseason.